So let us go to another small different variety of questions. Few statements are given there. We will have to identify whether those statements are correct or not correct. We will have to give a suitable explanation also if it is correct or not correct. The first statement says that reaction of C6H5MgBr with one equivalent of ethyl benzoate gives triphenyl carbinol. That is, 3 C6H5 groups are there in this carbinol. Carbinol is the general name for an alcohol. This statement actually is not correct, because when we react one molecule, I will write the equation here. When we write one equivalent of C6H5MgBr with ethyl benzoate C6H5 COO C2H5, what actually happens is a Grignard reagent reacts with an ester to give rise to a ketone only. It is given specifically as one, when it is simply said when it reacts with ethyl benzoate, giving a final product as C6H5 3 times COH is correct. But it is given specifically as one equivalent. When it reacts with one equivalent, the product obtained is only benzophenone C6H5CO C6H5 and not this. When this benzophenone is again active with the Grignard reagent, that can again undergo further reaction to give rise to triphenyl carbinol. So the formation of triphenyl carbinol is possible only when it reacts with two equivalents of this reagent, namely ethyl benzoate, and not one equivalent. With one equivalent, it gives rise only to benzophenone, diphenyl ketone. Ketone is formed. As we all know, ketones are very reactive, or Grignard reagents are very reactive towards ketone, will lead to the formation of the tertiary alcohol. But since it is given as only one equivalent, further ethyl benzoate is not available, and therefore the reaction stops at this stage. Therefore, this statement is not correct. Let us go to the next statement. Actually, 4 statements are given. 2 statements are given here, and as part of the next set, 2 more statements will be given. And the next statement is the reaction of a Grignard reagent with elemental sulfur gives mercaptans. What are mercaptans? Mercaptans are all thioalcohols, RSH. This is they are generally common name will be thioalcohols. Instead of, if it is ROH, they are alcohols. If S is present in the place of O, then it is known as a thioalcohol. The other name for thioalcohols are mercaptans. This is one of the standard methods of preparation of mercaptans through a Grignard route. So Grignard reagent is prepared just like any other method. Some RMgBr is prepared, then treated with the elemental sulfur to give rise to this product. Therefore, this statement B is correct. Let us go to the last 2 questions in the series. Again, correct or not correct type of statements. 2 statements are given. One statement is chloroform on hydrolysis gives rise to formic acid. That is actually a correct statement. Formic acid is obtained on the suitable conditions from chloroform. It can be treated, it can be hydrolyzed to give rise to the formic acid. Therefore, this statement is correct. Then going to the next statement, clonobenzene gives a white precipitate with alcoholic silver nitrate. That is not a correct statement, because clonobenzene is a nuclear halogen. This nuclear halogen will not give a precipitate with alcoholic silver nitrate solution. This can be obtained if a white precipitate is obtained only after the sodium fusion extract is prepared. From this compound, we can prepare by means of the Lassainis test. A sodium fusion extract is prepared. This chloride is converted in the form of sodium chloride, and after neutralization of nitric acid and treated with silver nitrate, then it will give white precipitate. Simply when we take chlorobenzene and treat it with alcoholic silver nitrate solution, this will fail to give a white precipitate. So the statement that chlorobenzene gives a white precipitate with alcoholic silver nitrate is not correct. And which will give then a white precipitate? A side chain halogen. This is actually said to be a nuclear chlorine or a nuclear halogen, whereas there is another type of a halogen which is attached not directly to the nucleus but to the side chain. This, there is no need of a sodium fusion extract to prepare. Sodium fusion extract will also give, but there is no need for a preparation of sodium fusion extract, whereas when we treat this compound with alcoholic silver nitrate solution, it will give a white precipitate of silver chloride. So a silver chloride white precipitate is obtained, or if bromide is present, pale yellow precipitate of silver bromide is obtained on treatment with silver nitrate. So this will give a white precipitate of silver chloride, whereas this will fail to give a white precipitate of silver chloride. This is actually the essential difference between a nuclear halogen and a side chain halogen.